All right, the one and only Soave, and he's here right now. What's up, pal? What's going on?
How are you, babe?
Good to see you. Always a pleasure, man.
Johnny P.
It ain't like I don't see you, but you know, anytime I even see you, it's even more of an event.
Thank you, thank you.
So how's it going, brother?
It's good, man. Really, really good. Things are great. Never better.
You looking awesome. How much? What have you been on another diet?
Yeah, I lost a little weight.
And I took it on. Well, that's good. You looking good, man.
Thank you. Been staying away from carbs.
That's the whole thing. It's hard.
No, it's very tough. It's a difficult thing when you're Puerto Rican and everybody's feeding you rice and beans all the time. And then my favorite food outside of that is sushi. So I find myself going to places where they have a lot of rice in there. So.
Well, that's the thing. The sushi's not heavy. It's the carbs and the rice, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's sashimi, you know.
Unbelievable. So now what's going on? Last time I saw you was at the St. George Theater, same thing with George. That was a great show. You've been, the tour's been looking like it's been having a lot of fun.
We've been rocking it's nonstop, thank God. It's a beautiful problem. Not a problem, it's a beautiful thing.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
You're all young enough. I mean, you guys are young enough to jump and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's hard. I mean, it takes time to take care of yourself. You know, you had to wake up at the good time and not go to sleep too late. Mm-hmm. And not get crazy partying, and you know, stay safe.
It ain't like the old days.
No, not at all.
No, not at all.
And I wasn't into that stuff. I was the guy. If anything, what we did was we drank a lot at the clubs and the functions and stuff like that. And that was pretty much the extent of my insanity.
Now, what's going on besides the music business? You're doing a thing called Soave Sundays.
Yeah, Soave Sundays.
Tell everybody who don't know about this. How you came about this idea, and how's it going for you?
It's very good. That's a good question. I had a publicist who was really, really into trying to find different ways to get myself out there. And you know, being relative it's important because the more you're out there, the more people remember you.
Exactly.
And I think George mentioned before that, you know, for the longest time we were doing shows, never ever stop. But if you weren't on social media because there wasn't any, how did you really know? So unless somebody told you that we were going to be somewhere, you kind of had no idea.
Or the radio, the paper, right?
Yes,
that
exactly.
Was it.
So Alicia was my my publicist, and she said, you know, it'd be really good if you did like a blog and kind of like a video blog where you speak to people. And I said, well, it's funny because I always wanted to be a motivational speaker. And at one point, I actually thought that was going to be the premise of where my future was headed. I was doing things in regards to learning how to be a public speaker, and I've always been in sales, so you know, you have to do the Saturday morning rah-rah meetings for your guys, and you have to motivate people, and I've always been a motivator, so I figured this would be a great platform to push that motivational speaking aspect of it. And she said, let's call it something cool. I don't know, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. She goes, why don't you do it on Sundays? I said, that's perfect. I said, Soave Sunday. She goes, that's it. And it's just essentially me talking about something that's either positive or it may not even be positive, just it may be something that people are going through that they can relate to. And I try to give my opinion on it without being too biased, without being too caught up in religion, politics, you know, orientation of gender and sexuality and so forth. So I try to keep it as mainstream as possible without crossing the borders on either side.
You have
to. But yet you got to talk about it. You just have to be understanding that, you know, everybody has their own opinion about things. So.
And once you light the fuse, if you go the wrong way,
that's it.
You know, there's a safety line over here too.
Yeah.
I mean, I bust balls as much as I can. But there's things, you know, some people use your platform to get back at people and all that stuff. I don't do that. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather tell you to your face.
Yep.
I mean, and it's unprofessional anyway.
It's difficult because when you have a platform, you know, if you're smart, you really want to use it wisely. I try so hard sometimes to make sure that I'm managing everything that I say and things that I do and places that I go with the right association of people and certainly, you know, the right subjects of concern that I'm talking about, not to ever make anybody feel that they're uncomfortable around me or you know, or uncomfortable about the things that we're discussing. But Soave Sundays has really turned out to be good because it turned out to be a few hundred and thousands of people every single Sunday. And then, you know, if I miss a Sunday, you got to see all the mail, the instant messages. Like, well, what happened?
Now you got to start cooking in the house. I want to see some of that.
You know, I've done that before. Me and George and Coral and Kay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Coral. I mean, George is the big cook. And,
Every now and then I see it when I'm doing 2 emails. I turn it on, I leave it on, I'm checking out. I'm like, this guy's funny. So I'm watching it, I'm laughing, you know.
Yeah.
But it's good. Yeah, listen, social media today came a long way. It's
certainly
really,
has.
it's crazy.
It's done an amazing job with extending what it is that we've been doing, and like George said before, fighting our way to maintain and keep going. But it makes it easier because people see you from all over the world, and that's the good part. The down part for somebody like me is I always got to change outfits, and it's not easy to find
Forget
something
about
different
it.
every week.
All the outfits this guy has, I could steal them and put a down payment on a house.
You and me both.
I'm not even lying.
You and me both.
He actually motivated me to start getting nicer shirts a couple of years
You
back.
look good.
It works. Covers up the pasta belly.
Absolutely. Especially if you wear black.
So now listen, what separates you from the rest of the freestyle artists that are out today?
What separates me? I have a genuine concern about making sure that when we do something out there, it's special. I have a genuine concern, and there's a bunch of us have that same feeling. And I try to surround myself with those kind of people. I think you heard earlier that a lot of us know each other through passing. I mean, you know, you're talking about people that we know. I'm good.
30 years,
Yeah,
25 years.
At least 30 years. And so you know them for 30 years. You watched them when they were, you know, literally kids. Now they have kids, and some of them have kids that have kids. You know, thank God that's not me. But I have kids.
Yeah.
None of my kids have kids yet, thank God.
You know what it was? So back in the old days, when the bands used to play, it was like, say, AC/DC opened for kids, Zeppelin opened up for the Who, this one opened for now. So they opened up for everybody, and they wound up all knowing everybody. So like they all were friends.
Correct.
Parties, weddings, and then that's in that 70s genre. You saw everybody was at everybody's wedding.
Yeah,
say.
absolutely. And we still do that. We've done a lot of.
Well, you got a good group of guys.
Yeah, we do.
All you guys, and when you take pictures, you look like the freestyle Rat Pack.
That's it. We call it. We have a kind of a nickname of that.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bunch of us, and there's more that you see that are actually amongst us that really don't come out as often, but they're there.
Yeah.
So and that's one of the things that we're very thankful for, blessed to say the least, because we're getting to do something 30 years later that we absolutely love as kids. And I guess one of the things to answer your question is that we're trying really hard to keep it alive, but not just keep it alive doing the same stuff. We're trying to change it up a little, try to interact with each other a little bit more, and it's important that we do things that are of greatness, because you know we only have so much time left.
Listen, got a couple of havas left, but I mean, being a music fan, being a musician myself, you always want to see the artists that you love to come. You want to hear the oldies, but you also want to hear new stuff.
I know.
You don't care just you want to hear it. Like my favorite groups, I want to hear it. You know, even if you don't get one good song, some of these groups on the album, it's worth it.
Yep.
But you just want to.
See, it's different because in freestyle music, and I wish it were more like that, because I don't know of any good freestyle artist that's still around that hasn't done new music. And when you go to do a show, unless you're doing your own personal show, unless you're doing a show where it's not a concert venue, it's difficult to do new songs because they're not there to hear the new songs. Although they may love you more than life itself and they go to all your shows, they want to hear those songs that brought them back to that moment in time when they wore that crazy cologne or that insane perfume and their hair was up to here, and you know they drove around in that car with the big box in the trunk of their car, and just that time that took them back to that moment where they felt that they didn't have any problems and life was different. So that's what they're looking for, that nostalgic feeling. So when we do so, if we're doing a show, let's say in a smaller venue, and it's my show or two of us, we can do our own new music.
That I can understand because if you're only doing 3 or 4 or 5 songs,
exactly,
people are gonna probably be like,
make the show a little longer, do songs that no one's heard before. They appreciate that. But
I mean, but when you do these big shows and you do 2, 3, 4 songs, don't you want to do more when you're there?
So much more.
I mean, that's like a tease because you just start getting going. I can imagine getting pulled off the stage.
Yeah, like see, that's one of the things that drives me crazy because I want to stay on there. I don't want to get off, and the crowd is crazy. And then they're like, well, you only have 11 minutes, so you have 12 minutes and 15 seconds. It's like you literally have exact moments, and that's it.
Hey,
so
listen, you got to get what you take these days, and you know what? It's a beautiful thing, man. And I feel, and with Sal and all these guys, they're not going to stop. They're going to get this thing go. They're just going to. It's going to bloom and keep blooming.
They're going to continue for as long as they can.
Listen, it's almost our time. Before we go, what do we have in store for you? You got new music you're recording, right?
Yes.
And got to look forward to some new stuff.
Absolutely, and that's going to be the stuff that you'll hear under Soave Martinez. So,
all right, good.
Expanding myself a little for the new ages, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you're going to be on the Up Late with Johnny
I'm
Potenza
looking
show.
forward to it.
In the summertime sometime.
Johnny Potenza.
Johnny Potenza.
I like that.
That's it, from the Potenza crime family.
That's awesome.
Now, I'm
Of
only
course,
teasing.
it's got to be related
It's over.
to something.
Potenza Construction. Well, listen, Soave, where can people find you on social media?
Well, everything that I have, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, my website, it's all Go Soave, Gosoave. And that's it, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, it's Go Soave, gosoave.com, Go Soave.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, come back anytime.
Thank
You're
you.
a good
Always,
friend, and
always.
you're such a gentleman. Soave!
Thank you.
All right. About that time, we got to close the show. I'd like to thank all our guests, all you studio audience that came out to the show. Thank you. We'd like to thank our dedicated food sponsors, Paulie from Nutri's Restaurants. The food is great. Paulie, you guys are the best.